Next, we will learn about few properties of complex numbers which is related to addition, subtraction and division and multiplication of complex numbers. The first property is of addition. If I am taking two complex numbers z1 and z2, if z1 I am taking as x1 plus I y1 and z2 I am taking it as x2 plus I y2. So how will you add two complex numbers? We will take the real parts together, that is x1 plus x2, and we will take the imaginary parts together, that is I y1 plus I y2. So this will be equal to x1 plus x2. If you take I common, this will be equals to I into y1 plus of y2. Okay, so now we will come to an example of this complex number. If I am adding two complex numbers as 2 plus 3i and 7 minus 9i, so we will take the real parts together and the imaginary parts together. So this will be 9 and this will be plus of minus 6i, that is equal to 9 minus of 6i. Coming to the next property of complex number, that is multiplication of the complex numbers, and this is equals to z1 into z2. So this will be equals to x1 plus I y1 into x2 plus I y2. This is equal to, now we know that when we are multiplying with x1, we will multiply this whole expression x2 plus I y2, and with I y1 we will again multiply this expression x2 plus I y2. Now this is equal to x1 x2 plus I into x1 y2 plus of I into x2 y1. This is coming I into I, that is I square. I square is minus 1, so directly I can write minus 1 into y1 y2. So now we will get this part as x1 x2 minus y1 y2 plus, if you take I common from this 2, we will get x1 y2 plus of x2 y1, and in this part we will get x1 x2 minus y1 y2 plus of I into x1 y2 plus of x2 y1. So again, with these two complex numbers, how will you multiply? So if I am taking an example as 2 plus 3i into 7 minus of 9i, so this will be equals to, with 2 we can multiply 7 minus 9i, and with 3i I can multiply 7 minus of 9i. So this is 14 minus of 18i plus of, this is 7 3s are 21i minus of I into I is minus 1, 9 3s are 27. So this is coming 14 minus 18i plus 21i plus of 27. So we will get 14 plus 27. This is coming 1, 41 minus 18i plus 21i. So I can write this as plus 21 minus of 18. So this is coming plus of 3i. So in this way we can add, we can subtract. So we have shown the addition and the multiplication. Addition I have shown and the multiplication I have shown. Now we will move to subtraction. How will we subtract two complex numbers? Number 3 part. Subtraction means z1 minus of z2. This is equals to, I have taken the complex numbers as x1 plus I y1 minus of x2 minus plus of I y2. So this will be x1 plus I y1 minus of x2 minus I y2. So this will be, again take the real parts together, x1 minus x2 plus of I into y1 minus of y1 minus of y2. Again, if you take the example as 2 plus 3i minus of 7 minus of 9i, this will be equals to 2 minus of 7 plus of, or first take off the brackets, minus 7 plus 9i, because minus minus will give plus sign. 2 minus 7, that is minus 5. 9 plus 3, that is equals to 12i. This will be your answer if you are asked to subtract two complex numbers. So we have done with the subtraction part also along with an example. Coming to the last part, and that is division of two complex numbers. So here we come to the division part. This was number third part, and this one is number fourth, which is division. Z1 by Z2. What is this complex number? X1 plus I y1, and this is x2 plus I y2. Now, how to calculate the division of complex numbers? We have to over here rationalize. How we will rationalize? We will multiply with the conjugate of the denominator. Conjugate means here in the denominator it's a plus sign in between these two numbers. We will multiply with the negative sign in between the two numbers, divided by x2 minus of I y2. So this will be equals to this part into this part, x1 plus I y1 into x2 minus I y2, divided by, look, x2 whole square. This is in the form a plus b into a minus b. So it can be written as x2 whole square, a square minus b square, minus of I y2 whole square. Now the upper part you can rationalize, x1 x2 minus of I into x1 y2 plus of I into y1 x2. Minus of I into I is I squared, that is minus 1 y1 y2, divided by, this will be x2 square. Look, I square is minus 1, again minus sign, minus minus will form plus sign. So together it will come at the end plus y2 square. Now this will be equals to x1 x2 minus minus is plus sign y1 y2 plus of, if you take the I common, this will be y1 x2 minus of x1 y2 whole divided by x2 square plus y2 square. Now if you separate the real part and the imaginary part, you will get this as x1 x2 plus y1 y2 by x2 square plus y2 square plus I into y1 x2 minus x1 y2 divided by x2 square plus of y2 square. So here when you are asked to divide two rational numbers, divide two complex numbers, we have to rationalize the denominator and henceforth we have to find out. Your homework is that you will find out the rational value of this 2 plus of 3i divided by 7 minus of 9i. This value you have to find out. This will come how much? You have to calculate. Do rationalize and then write the answer of this expression in the chat box. If you find any difficulty, I'll surely get back to you.